you say to those viewers that don't pursue their dreams and are locked in their careers because they are too afraid to take risks and pursue something?
Guys, listen carefully to the response, please. Carefully to the response. Listen.
You should be afraid of taking risks and pursuing something meaningful. But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. And you might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking. Yeah. And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older. You should be afraid of taking risks.
You should never be afraid of taking any risk. The more you're growing, the more responsibilities are coming upon you. The more responsibilities are heavier upon you, the more difficult it is going to become to use the same money you used to make in the past. The more complicated things are going to be. Just take a simple example, guys. Before you are married, or maybe you are not yet married for the moment, but before you are married, all the money you're making is for you, and maybe you just be making that money for you and you alone, majority of the time. For you and you alone, helping one or two people by the side, but just like 20% of the money maybe to help some people. But as soon as you get married and you have not taken any risk into investing into your free time, look at how blocked it becomes, because the money is no longer for you alone, but for the kids out there. And then the quantity of kids, if your wife is giving 4 kids at the same time, 3 kids at the same time, 2 kids at the same time, you're locked into a huge system whereby you will keep on being afraid of getting out of that circle until you die. The only way out for you to be able to understand that you can really make money is by selling something. For me, it was by selling something. For example, when I understood that by working for people will really not help me a lot to get as fast as I want to the objectives I wanted, but selling certain things will help me achieve the objective, I launched into dropshipping. I didn't care so much about how much money I had in the beginning, because I knew that if I get a job, I will be able to finance certain things with the dropshipping business I was doing. At the end of the day, I got myself a job, and then I got myself a mentorship, even though it didn't go so well in the beginning. But at least I spent some 1 year, instead of spending on maybe party time, spending on friends, spending on shoes, on clothing, on whatsoever. No, I told myself no. Even up to now that I can say I have some money that is more than what I used to have, I still almost have the same clothing. Almost like 90% of my clothes are almost the same. 90% of my clothes are almost the same as I used to have months ago, and I don't spend money. I even shave myself alone. I shave my hairs alone. And if I tell you how much I make per month, you'll be wondering. You will be wondering, because the objective is too far from where I am. I am too backwards according to my objective. I shave my hairs alone. Most of you, if I just have to count, like for example here in Germany, how much I spend, I'm supposed to spend just on the barber. I just calculate that, okay, instead of taking that money to the barber, then I will take that money and launch an advertisement on Facebook to sell certain things, and then from selling that thing, I will have this money to do, maybe buy something in Cameroon or buy something in Germany and resell it again, and then buy again another thing and resell it again, and that's how I go. Guys, most of us, we are afraid of spending money to learn certain things. We are afraid of spending money to... I'm not forcing you guys, I'm not pushing you guys to come and buy my course or buy my programs or buy somebody else's program, but I am telling you something. If you found something that is working anywhere, no matter to who it is, no matter which whatsoever it is, your friend has told you about a business opportunity which is so interesting and which is promising, and you have studied the business, you've watched like 10 hours of content on that business online, seeing negative reviews, positive reviews, study the business, guys, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate, because that's the number one thing that is blocking the majority of us, because we always want to do certain things that are so easy that we're going to do something very easy, which is at the end of the day going to be a scam. Because scammers know very well that if you want to scam people, just Just give them something that's going to be so easy for them to make huge in a short amount of time without any much amount of energy, and then people are going to fall into it like comme le sac de macabo, as the same in French, like a bag of cocoyams that just threw it down the floor. Don't be afraid of taking risks, guys. That's the number one thing. If you stand there, you grow old, and then you take age, and then at the end of the day, you find difficulties. Don't be afraid of taking risk. Engage yourself into risk taking, and then you will see the consequence at the end of the day. Engage yourself into risk taking, and then you see the consequences. Don't just take any kind of risk. Study the risk very well. That's why I say 10 hours at least. Study a business concept before you engage yourself into. It's very important. Don't be afraid of taking risks, guys.
Where you are if it's making you miserable. It's like you're paying a price by sitting there being miserable. You might say, well, the devil I know is better than the one I don't. It's like, don't be so sure of that. The clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking.
And if you're miserable in your job now and you change nothing, in 5 years you'll be much more miserable and you'll be a lot older.
A lot more miserable in 5 years, and a lot older. A lot older. You don't have the same energy that you used to have. God bless you guys. Give your life to Jesus. Don't forget, work hard. Find opportunities out there. The number one way to make money is by selling something. You can sell as many things as possible if you know how to do it. If you have the right strategies, you will sell a lot, and you can make a lot. I wanted to say something, but I'll not say it. I wanted to reveal a second, but anyways, I'll be showing results from some of my students very, very soon again on the YouTube. God bless you abundantly.